I have a little studio in New York City called Studio Usher. Over the past several years, I have picked one not-for-profit organization to donate my services to. There's causes that are important to me. What's more interesting is people who are doing innovative things as they relate to social change.
I'm a business guy. I've started 3 other companies. Then I decided it was time to go make a difference. I was fortunate enough to be invited to the White House to talk about how to make America better with technology. When it was my turn to speak, I said, well, we need to fix the school broadband problem. The president's response was, what problem? All our schools have broadband. That was true, but the typical school had the same internet access as the typical home and had 500 people instead of 4 or 5 people trying to use that internet. EducationSuperHighway is a nonprofit whose mission is to upgrade the internet access in every public school in America.
Across the nation, 72% of public schools do not have adequate infrastructure to take advantage of digital learning.
That meant 40 million kids across America, urban kids, rural kids, rich kids, poor kids, were being left behind on the wrong side of the K-12 digital divide.
They have limited access to the internet, it's spotty when it's on. There's a line that if crossed into being too slow, it becomes impractical for a teacher to use.
So what we really needed to do was increase the capacity, gigabit broadband in every school, and Wi-Fi in every classroom. Digital learning is the most scalable way to ensure that every child in this country has equal access to educational opportunity. The integration of technology in the classroom to personalize education, to know where each kid in the classroom stands so that the teacher can adapt their instruction to that student.
EducationSuperHighway had a powerful mission and quantitative data to back it up.
We were focused on reallocating the existing funding that was there and spending it more effectively.
Internet infrastructure gets really tedious really fast until you add the humanity behind what we're talking about. Every time we show a picture of someone, we relate to them. Taking a very obvious thing that the advertising community does all the time. I wanted them to be real kids. And next. Their noses are too big, one ear is too big, their hair is perfect, they're wearing this cool shirt. You know, they're all kind of amazing.
It was clear that this was going to be something that was not about bits and bytes, but was about kids. This was a pretty major investment in something that we had no idea if it would work.
What Ideas That Matter does is it allows you funding to go in and think big.
It was very, very helpful that they stepped up to help us do this.
The Sappi grant funded a mini campaign, a printed piece, a microsite, and a little animation to drive people to that microsite.
Throughout the government, congressional offices, at the FCC, at the White House, they were received phenomenally well. As a result, the FCC established a $5 billion target to put Wi-Fi in every classroom in the next 5 years.
Mark Zuckerberg's foundation and the Gates Foundation invested $9 million in EducationSuperHighway.
A huge victory. The State of the Union was, without question, one of the highlights.
Last year, I also pledged to connect 99% of our students to high-speed broadband over the next 4 years. Tonight, I can announce that with the support of the FCC, we've got a down payment to start connecting more than 15,000 schools and 20 million students over the next 2 years without adding a dime to the deficit.
And that's when you realize that, wow, this piece is really talking to people. It's getting up to Obama. I see now much more clearly that there is distinctly a place both for design and design thinking in government. Ultimately, I want to make beautiful things, smart things, and I want to make a difference in the world.